What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Rambling Garage. Today we're doing a little garage video. It's not necessarily, it's for the Rambler, kind of, but it's not. As you guys saw in the title, we are doing a VEVOR diesel heater. A lot of people use these for camping, or if they have like the conversion vans that they turn into campers, they will use these to heat their vans while they're sleeping at night. I got one. I want to use it for the garage. If you guys don't know, we're in a house here. We don't plan on staying here forever. We're hoping to move semi-soonish. So putting something that was permanent on the wall or something like that was not something I wanted to do. So I figured this thing, we run off diesel and use the exhaust out the garage, and it should work. So I want to try it with you guys. We got to do a couple modifications to make it kind of work for our situation. Really just have to space it up to make the exhaust flow correctly. But we're going to take a look at that. So it comes in this big old box here. Kind of heavy, a little bigger than I thought it'd be. But yeah, let's get it unboxed. I just got a few gallons of diesel here. So I believe this will run off diesel and, oh boy, I forget, something else. Maybe we'll find out as we open it up. So let's take a look. Alright, don't mind my collection of boxes here. I've been selling a lot of stuff on eBay, so I'm keeping all my boxes. But here we have the VEVOR, whatever, diesel heater. I thought it runs off of kerosene or something as well, but don't quote me on. We're going to be using diesel. Might say somewhere in here. I don't know. Diesel. A couple accessories in here. This is so they do come with accessories so you can mount like a permanent exhaust port out of your garage or something if you wanted to. Again, we're not going to be doing that, but we'll keep the pieces around for the sake of the video. We'll stay out. So right away, I'll say this thing is a little bigger than I was anticipating, but it does the job. I don't think I care. See back here, you do need a 12 volt source, so automotive battery of sorts if you have one. Probably wire it up to a trickle charger or something if you wanted. I have a battery out of this guy that we're not going to be using in the winter, so that'll work. So that's a pretty big guy there. It's my understanding that these tanks don't always vent the best, so keep the cap on to keep it loose maybe, and then tighten it down when you're transporting. I don't know. You do what works for you. And then we got, I assume, all of our exhaust stuff in here. Yeah. Alright, so we've got a couple of things. The exhaust pipe itself also comes with a muffler. We're going to see how necessary this is. From what I've seen, a lot of people don't run these, and they're not very loud, but we'll see. And then you have some tubing that you can use to kind of redirect the airflow as you desire. Look on this side, we have this is going to be our heat outlet. So you point this wherever you need to, and then on the bottom is going to be our exhaust down there. So one of those is exhaust at least. One of those is something else. Let's see. I don't know which one's which. I'll figure it out. But one's exhaust, one's something else. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to need to do a little modification. The exhaust comes straight out of the bottom, and there's not enough room for it to make a turn, from what I understand. So, to accommodate for that, we're just going to put this up on 2x4s, and probably 2x4 is the long way. So we'll stand something like that. It should be a pretty easy fix. Also comes with a number of hose clamps, a breather of sorts, I assume for the intake. I don't know if one of those on the bottom is the intake and one's the exhaust. So hose clamps, breather, and then some like some fiberglass wrap or header wrap type stuff for the exhaust so that you can try to keep temps down. So there we go. I am going to read the instruction book a little bit just to see what's what, and we'll put this thing on a battery and try to get it started. So just taking a closer look here, there are two what look like outlets here. The one that is closer to this green line, which is the fuel line, is going to be your air intake. So you got this little air breather. What I'm going to do is end up kind of routing these both. This one will probably go somewhere over here. And then the exhaust is just going to go straight out the side. The one without the green is obviously then the exhaust here. And I want to hear how loud it is without the muffler. And yeah, so I had to cut some 2x4s to go right here. We'll get that done. And yeah, I'll show you what that looks like. And I really want to see how quickly this heats up. The garage is probably, I don't know, 45 degrees in here right now. I'd like to get it up to like 60. So we'll take a crack at that and we'll be back with you. All right, guys, so we made some really quick, I don't know if you call them modifications, but additions, and I'll just show you guys what we did here. I pulled the air cleaner off for the time being. I might put that back on, but put the heat wrapped exhaust pipe there, ran it through there, and I obviously added the wooden legs here. I am a little curious to see how hot that gets with the heat wrap there. I don't want to start a fire with the wood, but we'll keep an eye on it the first few times. Also went and added some clamps for the battery. So I'm just going to use an automotive battery and we'll clamp them on, and should be pretty easy peasy. So got the exhaust run out and have it down into a muffler there. So eventually what we'll do is we'll angle it down and run it under the exhaust and seal off the, or under the garage and seal off the garage. But this will get us an idea of how it works in the meantime. And might not even have to do that. We'll see. Maybe it'll produce enough heat that it'll offset whatever's coming in. But we'll see. So let's put a battery on this, get some diesel in it, and start it up. So just took the battery out of the Rambler and got some gas in it, keeping the cap off because I hear it doesn't vent very well. But I think that's working to start. So it's pumping some air out, not very much. We'll see if it gets started and pumps out a little more. Alright, so we got it pumping some air now. I can feel it coming out nice and warm. It has a little noise to it, but it's not bad at all. We're going to let it run in here for a bit. The thermostat is right here, unfortunately. I wish it was further away. I don't know if we can change that. Might be something we look into. So, this thing's ramping up pretty good. Might get warm in here pretty quick. We'll see. I'll come back to you guys here in a little bit. A couple things I wanted to check out while this is running. I can feel it. It's pumping out some good warm air. I want to see how warm, so we can start right now. Claims to be about 120-ish degrees. The ground in here is about 45, so it's not cold. Not too bad. See like what the box is over here. It's about 45 in here. We'll see what we can get the temp up to. I also wanted to see what the exhaust was in terms of temp. 100 degrees-ish. Interesting. So that seems hotter. I don't know. I would think that would be not as hot, but yeah, it's got some temp to it. So I was kind of hoping I could have it under the garage. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but we'll see. Interesting that the things that are not covered are colder, but they're also closer to being outside. So maybe this is also holding in heat? I don't know. I'm not sure. So let's keep an eye on it. But I'm going to let this thing run for a little bit, and we'll come back and get a temperature in here in probably 10 minutes. And outside, just to hear the exhaust on this thing is pretty quiet. But good to know, I suppose. I wonder how hot that is. Not a lot coming out of it. And it's warm. It's definitely warm. Alright guys, so in an effort to make it so that there's less cold air coming in, I dropped the door down on a 2x4. Obviously not the most ideal way, but I had to keep it so it was off of the exhaust. I don't want the trim under the door getting burnt or anything like that. So this has been running now for about an hour and 24 minutes. It went up about 10 degrees in here. Now, I don't think that's an accurate depiction because if you think about it, we're pushing warm air out of this and we're pushing cold air, although not as forced, but cold air out of that entire area. So what my plan is, tomorrow I'd like to get more 2x4s or make something work with 2x4s so that I can block off this space here all the way across, except for maybe just a little bit down over here. So I think this is working pretty well. I mean, it went up 10 degrees with, you know, this door is like, I don't know what they are, 18 feet wide, 20 feet wide, something like that. It's just got air coming in, so you can't expect it to work too well. I did run it for about an hour and a half, and it started up here. So I used, I don't know, half a liter. So I'd say 10% of the fuel for an hour and a half. Multiply that by 10, and I got about 10 hours of runtime, a little more. So it's more like 15 hours of runtime. But so that's that. We got it set up, we got it running. It works well. You guys can't feel it, but the heat coming off right here feels really nice. So I think once we get some time to kind of iron out getting that air to stay out there, we're going to be in a much better place. So I'll work on that. I'll get some sort of 2x4 rigged up, and maybe we'll do another hour test. We'll run it for an hour and see what the temp gets up to once I am blocking off all that air. Just sitting back here, I can feel the cold air coming in. This like feels, this leg's warm, this one's cold. So I can't really blame that thing for not competing with all that cold air coming in. So I will say this thing, you can probably hear it okay. I can't hear it at all inside. It's quiet. The fumes in here are, there were some fumes in here because it was blowing that diesel exhaust back in here, but not anymore. No fumes in here. And all in all, I'm pretty content with it. So I think what I'm going to do is build some 2x4s, and then I'll make it so that it can just sit under the door. I don't want any spots like this where the door can kind of bow in or bend or crease, so I don't want to damage the door, but I do want to block off some of the cold coming in. It is freezing right here, so it's like 30 degrees out right now, but yeah, just can't make it compete with that. It's not fair. So build something, we'll come back, we'll do the test again. So I'm turning this down for the night. One thing I read online is that you want to let this thing ramp down. So I'm going to run the temp down as low as it gets, let it ramp down, and then I'll turn it off. So I think that just helps with like diesel exhaust and stuff. So just an FYI. See you guys tomorrow. Haven't really rigged anything up yet, but I used some 2x4s. Have a little gap in here. We can close it up if we need to, but they're holding that open. So I just started this. It takes a little bit to cycle and heat up. We're at about 30 degrees in here. I'm gonna let it sit for maybe 20-30 minutes, and we'll come back. So it's got to take some time to warm up, but should hopefully have some heat flowing here soon. Just came back out to check on it. About 12 minutes of actual run time, and we're up 15 degrees in here already. So I'm gonna come back in like a half an hour and see what it feels like in here. Alright, this thing's been running for a while. Let's see what we got. It's been running for like an hour and a half. We're up to 55 degrees. The first like 45 minutes I did not have it running as hot as it could, or as quickly, fast as it could, so had a little delay in heat there. That's pretty good for something this size. Like over 55 degrees is comfortable, and I'm in shorts, t-shirt. It's pretty comfortable in here, and honestly it could be a little bit better. I just have these like this, so you still get some cold air coming in. All in all, I think that's pretty good. Ran about an hour and a half. Used about, I don't know, a quarter or maybe an eighth of fuel, so not bad. Let's see if I can figure out how to make this thing be a little more efficient maybe, and yeah, all in all, it's almost 60 degrees in here, and it was up from 30 initially, maybe less, so doubled the temp in about an hour, I would say, roughly. Not bad. Alrighty guys, that's going to be it for the VEVOR, the diesel heater. All in all, I think this thing takes a little getting used to, and you have to have reasonable expectations, especially depending on your space. We have what is, I think we're sitting about 22 by 24 in here, so it's a good bit of space. It brought it up to a working temperature, in my opinion. And I didn't have it set properly at first, so it took me a little bit to, bump that temp back up, and then it really started kicking out air. So it really, if I recall, I'd have to look back, it went from like 25 or 30 degrees to somewhere in the 50s. So it almost doubled in temperature in here, and it did that, reasonably speaking, in probably 30 to 45 minutes. So if you're working during that time, it'll heat up pretty quick. I think that's not bad, and it's diesel, so it costs you like $4 a gallon, and as you guys saw, I probably ran that for 3 hours total on maybe less than a gallon, 3/4 of a gallon, something like that. So it doesn't take all that much to run the thing. It's pretty small, it's pretty light, and it's easy to kind of tuck away too. So all you need is an automotive battery to go with it, some diesel, and you can get some gator clamps like I got if you want to make it a little easier. I recommend doing that. It's been working out well. So there you go. I like this thing. It's going to make it so I can get some more stuff done on the Rambler this summer, or this winter, rather. And yeah, pretty happy with it. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think of this thing. Let me know if you guys have one, if you found better ways to make it a little more efficient or anything like that. So thanks again for watching. See you guys in the next video.